The easiest way to write a fraction as a percent is to convert using a proportion. We'll set the fraction equal to percent over 100 and then solve the percent. Finally, we add on the percent sign. In example A, we have 7/40ths. We'll set this equal to percent. I'm just going to write x for now over 100 since the percent is the unknown that we're looking for. And now cross multiply. We get 700 equals 40x. Divide both sides by 40. We now have x equals, if we reduce that fraction, we get 70 divided by 4. Let's go through and do the long division. 4 goes into 7 one time. Multiply, we get 4. Subtract, we get a 3. Drop down to 0. 4 goes into 30. 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, we get a 2. We'll add a decimal and drop down to 0. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract and we get a 0. We now have 17.5. We just need to add on the percent sign. In example B, notice we have a mixed number. Let's convert that to an improper fraction first. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we have 9 divided by 4 equals percent, which we will put in x, over 100. Cross multiply. 900 equals 4x. We'll divide both sides by 4. And we get x equals, if we reduce that, we get 225. Now we just need to add the percent sign. In part C, 3/17, we will set that equal to x over 100 and then cross multiply. 300 equals 17x. Let's divide both sides by 17. And this looks like it's not going to reduce, so we'll need to use the long division. 300 divided by 17. 17 goes into 30 one time. Multiply, we get 17. We'll get 13. Bring down the 0. 17 goes into 130 7 times. Multiply. 7 times 7 is 49. Carry the 4. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Subtract and we get 11. We'll need to add a decimal point and drop down that 0. 17 goes into 110 6 times. 6 times 17 is 102. Subtract and we get an 8. Again, we'll need another 0. Drop it down. 17 goes into 80 4 times. 4 times 17 is 68. Subtract and we get 12. And we can stop right here. We're asked to round to the nearest tenth of a percent. We needed the 4 to know where to round. Since 6 is the rounding digit, we look to the right and we have a 4. That means we round down. So we're looking at 17.6. Sorry, we're out of space here. And we just need to add on that percent sign. In example 6, we're looking at this pie chart to answer the questions. Part A, write the paper cost as a decimal. Notice the paper cost is 25%. We want to write that as a decimal. To convert percent to a decimal, we move the decimal point 2 times to the left and drop the percent sign. So that would be 25 hundredths. The royalty percent as a fraction. So the royalty percent, we have 15%. 15% written as a fraction. We would drop the percent sign and write the 15 over 100. We could then reduce that. 115 have a 5 as a greatest common factor. Let's divide each of those by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 100 divided by 5 is 20. And then part C, true or false. The binding percent equals 1/5 in fraction form. So binding, we have 20%. We're asking, is that 1/5? Remember to convert percent to a fraction. We write the number divided by 100, drop the percent sign, and reduce. We get 1/5, so this is true. And in part 7, we're doing some conversions. We're filling in the table. 12.5%, we want to write that as a decimal. If you're given a percent, we can simply drop the percent sign and divide by 100, which is essentially moving the decimal 2 times to the left. That is 0.125. As a fraction, remember we're starting with 12.5%. If we drop the percent sign, we can simply divide by 100. And then we need to move the decimal point in the numerator to the right, which means we have to do it in the denominator as well. So in the numerator, 125, in the denominator, 1,000. And now we'll reduce this. Both of these numbers are divisible by 125. 125 divided by 125 is 1. And then 1,000 divided by 125 is 8. So this fraction reduces to 1/8. In the next row, we're given the decimal. We want to start by writing it as a percentage. To write a decimal as a percentage, we multiply by 100, which essentially moves that decimal 2 times to the right. And then we tack on the percent sign. To write this as a fraction, it may be helpful to read it. This is 1 and 25 hundredths. Think of that as a mixed number. We have 1 and 25 hundredths. Now we just need to reduce that fraction. Reducing that will give us 1 and 1/4. That's written as a mixed number. If we wanted to convert it to an improper fraction, we could. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Keep the same denominator. And in our final example, we're given the fraction. We want to start by writing it as a percent. To do that, we can write it as a proportion, x over 100. Cross multiply, we get 500 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6. And we get x equals 500 divided by 6. We'll have to do the long division there. 500 divided by 6. 6 will go into 50 8 times. 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract, we get a 2. We'll drop down a 0. 6 goes into 20 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18. Subtract and we get a 2. We can add a decimal point and a 0 and drop down that 0. 6 will go into 20 3 times. Multiply, we get 18. Subtract, we get a 2. And you're going to see that we get a repeating decimal there. That 0.3 is going to repeat forever. it says we need to round to the nearest hundredth as needed. So since this 3 is repeating forever, we can write it out 3 times. And the second decimal is the 100th place. Looking to the right of that, we get another 3, which means we round down. As a percent, we would have 83.33. Then we just need to tack on that percent sign. To write that now as a decimal, we drop the percent sign and move the decimal 2 times to the left, leaving us with 0.8333. But it again wants us to round to the nearest hundredth. So this one we could again round to just 83 hundredths.